Um, Now, uh, I also want to get it. So wait, here's another thing I want to. What did you have to do? Um, what did you have to do physically um, to kind of reverse or change the trajectory of the diagnosis that you had, whether it be dietary, exercise, or what have you?
So, what I love about universal intelligence, the high powered God, is that once you ask for information, once you literally say to yourself, this is a beautiful part about how we're made up, Samari.
Mm-hmm.
Once you say to yourself, I choose life. Once you say to yourself, I choose to grow and be better in this space. What's interesting is that a pathway that was likely always there illuminates. Because I'll say this, there's always a pathway of success or failure that sits before us. That's why our thinking will set us on the trajectory of that failing or that success. And so my thought process was, I choose to live my life free of medicines.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I told the universe that this was my decision, then the ideas and the conversations, the information sought me out. And so one of the things that I connected with was how to eat right for your blood type.
Mm.
And so when I started on that journey, I began to see that, oh, there are some geographical dynamics that play into how our blood aligns with how we digest certain foods because of the regions of the world.
True indeed.
And so there's some science that backs that up.
Mm.
And so I began to practice because I'm O positive. So I began to practice based on what that particular physician had prescribed for O positive eaters, O positive blood type, pardon me.
Mm.
I began to eat within those guidelines. Wasn't always perfect. However, for let's say 85 to 90% of the time, I was eating within those guidelines.
Okay.
And just off of making that adjustment, I began to see a lack of flare-ups. Flare-ups diminished dramatically.
Wow.
The arthritic symptoms began to go away.
Mm.
And I started feeling healthier, lighter, more vibrant. And so I said, okay. So on top of that, I started exercising more because I realized that I didn't like the way I looked. And so I started exercising more, started getting more, my joints and everything, my muscles got stronger, my joints got more fluid and less less tight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I evolved. However, what I really launched into, good brother, was the how to eat right for your blood type really set me on a trajectory of aligning myself with a food lifestyle that fit my needs. And so I recognize that that is not a cookie cutter experience that you can just put a program together and say, hey, do this and this will happen. No, you have to literally go on a journey to find yourself. And that's, again, what I help people do, is I help you go on a journey to find yourself. And a part of that is asking them, let's find out what your blood type is so that we can, I'm not saying that the blood type is the end all be all, but I will say this, and you working in the field that you work in the area of medicine would understand that anytime we go to the doctor, I don't care what kind of issues you have, what is one of the primary things that they're going to want to do to study you in a more in-depth fashion? We're going to have to take some blood.
That's right. That's
They
right.
always have to take blood. There's a reason why, because the blood tells the story about your today, your yesterday, and your tomorrow.
Mm.
And so when we can recognize that, good brother, right there, I believe, is when we can start to change the trajectory of our lives when we begin to align ourselves with how our blood is ministering to our organs. Because I'll say this in conclusion, because that's really what's happening. Your blood is either giving life to your organs or it's killing them.
Wow. That's very important, man. I don't think that is mentioned enough. Oftentimes we get good medical advice, work out maybe 5 times a week, 30 minutes to an hour a day, but you don't often hear people say, hey, find your blood type and see what may align to that. You don't hear that often. What about exercising? What's your what's your position, and what have you learned as far as exercising and all of that, and how that ties into the triad?
Yeah, for sure. So the exercising for me at 44 years young, I have to pay attention to my body. In my 20s, I could likely push up a lot more weight than I will honestly. I know I can push up the same weight in my 20s. However, I have to recognize that my joints are at 44 years young, not 24 years young. So my joints are going to respond to that 300-pound weight a little differently. So then I have to use wisdom and say, is it necessary? I have to ask myself, what am I after? For me, good brother, I'm after maintaining a lean physique that I can carry into my elder years, so that I don't have to work off the excess fat. As I know realistically that as I age, my metabolism is adjusting. So using wisdom says that if my metabolism is adjusting, then do I want to take an overweight frame into my elder years? So my philosophy on exercising is more of a cardio-centric fit, because as a Black man, I recognize that there is a certain aspect of cardiovascular disease that still plagues our community.
Yes.
So for me, heart health is very important.
Yes.
However, even when you look at it scientifically, when you think about it, good brother, what is the one organ that if it decided to take off at any given moment would cause or wreak havoc in your life? It is the heart. If your heart decided that it's going to have to chill for a little bit, we got a problem.
You got a problem.
I mean, as powerful as our brain is, as powerful as a lot of organs in our body can be, and the things that our organs can do, there's something significant about that heart doing its work. And so my goal is to make sure that I give my heart the optimum environment that it needs to perform at the highest level. So for me, for the most part, I'll work out 4 or 5 times a week. However, it won't be a heavy weight thing. I do high reps for muscle tone, so I can keep my muscles lean and fit.
Yes.
I see a chiropractor once per month to keep me aligned. And again, most of my workout is for movement. I stretch a lot more than I've ever stretched before. And a yoga-like stretch, but I don't do yoga. However, it's under meditative. I go into a meditative state when I'm stretching. I focus on my breathing. And so for me, I have a holistic approach to the physical aspect, because it's not about trying to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's about making sure that I can bend down at 44 and play with my children without grunting. It's about me being able to go to my daughter's play in the morning, do work in the middle of the day, and then go to my son's event in the evening and still have plenty of energy to spend time with my wife. The quality of life is what I'm after. And so the physical fitness helps me to maintain that quality of life, because I'm limber and I'm agile.
Man, so important, so important. And I can co-sign that, because we're seeing so many young Black men prematurely checking out. It was just the other day, hip hop artist Granddaddy IU just passed away. I'm still waiting to see what the cause of death was, but he was only 54, and I mean, technically that's still young. You know what I'm saying?
Young, bro.
we lost a lot of people, man. If I mean, you think about like Heavy D, you think about DMX, you think about Black Rob, so many of people in let's say like the hip hop community, because it has strong ties to us. These are black men, young black men,
Yeah.
checking out, and health and addiction. So it's something that is we have to pay real attention to, seriously. Like, when that check engine light come on in your body, you gotta pay attention to it, Now, I also want to talk about some of the spiritual components in your journey when it came to dealing with the diagnosis and getting to where you are right now, 2022. What has that spiritual journey been like, and the whole incorporation into what you do now? Talk about that.
Yeah. So again, my history is definitely church-based, and I say church specifically of the Christian faith.
Mm-hmm.
And so my time evolving inside of the faith has been one of understanding my true power as a spiritual being. Not only my power as a human being,
mm-hmm.
but more purposefully spoken, my power as a spiritual being. And so, in looking at the scripts you can find in the Holy Bible, but then there's also the Quran and various other models of life and theology and philosophy. What I really honed in on, there's a scripture, if I may, out of the Bible that really, really just launched me into a whole nother level of the way I see your thought life. And there's a translation, and it says, "Be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life."
Mm.
I'll say it again. Be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life. So when you really break that down some more, it's like, okay, so my parents don't run my life, and job doesn't run my life, and money doesn't run my life. Because based on what I'm hearing that at the end of Invictus lives within me every day. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul,
Mm-hmm.
and my thoughts run my life. So that if I can maintain the fate of my thinking, then I can master what I experience in my life.
Mm.
And so the spiritual context is no longer bound by the Christian faith. The spiritual context is now released to be free for the mind that is able to understand that your thinking is broken down into two key partnerships that culminate into one activator: your perception, the way you see the world; your perspective, the way you respond to the world that you see; and then that culminates into the decisions that you make. So your perception is that gateway where the information engages. Your perception ignites the moment you start to have that heartbeat in the womb, right?
Right.
Because we understand that physiologically, once you can hear sound, you're automatically being subconsciously programmed by your environment. So you are being informed in the womb.
Yes.
So now your level of information now increases once you exit the womb and come into the reality of this world. So when you think about it, good brother, your perception is on autopilot all the time. However, it's your perspective that allows you to activate on how you see the world. And so this is where it starts to turn into your decisions. And so this spiritual context now all relates to your process of thinking, because I call this the science of the thought. So see, my training say, okay, because see, the challenge that I've had with certain teachers, Samori, is you'll say, hey, change your thinking. And then I'll say, well, how in the hell you do that?
Right.
So My part as a personal development coach is to help break that down and give you the science of it so that you can see very granularly how to do that work. And so if I say you need to change the way you think in that area, and Curtis has trained me in that. What's step one? I need to figure out how I'm being informed. And then once I figure out how I'm being informed, if that information doesn't line up with the destiny, I need to change how I'm being informed and figure out what information is going to set me on the pathway so that I can get to that destination. Then he talked about my perspective. Well, my perspective is going to be that innate, that subconscious programming that puts me in a position to where I can start making the kind of decisions that align with where I'm going. However, and this is going to be the culmination of the way that I think. And so again, the spiritual alignment now puts you in a pathway that says that I am truly the master of my fate. I am truly the captain of my soul. And I can now participate in the powers that exist in the area of the universe because the universe has been created for me to succeed in and not the other way around.
Woo. Okay. Bro, you took it there. You took it there. You took it there. You had me thinking about some stuff. I'm like, damn, I there's a lot of things that I need to look at, with myself. And I'm pretty sure whoever's watching this, they're going to be thinking about that. Like, damn, how am I perceiving and receiving and processing and behaving and acting on these things? You're right. It has a lot. Oh man, I'm definitely have to sit down on my day off from work, man. On my day off from work, I might just sit down by the fireplace with a pen and pad and kind of like do some work, man. Seriously. Curtis, I want to ask you this. Doing what you do now, right? How would you coach 22-year-old Curtis Ross?
Knowing me, I'm a soldier at heart, even though I didn't enlist in any form of military. And so coaching me at 22 will look more like identifying what it is that I desire, and then being very straightforward with the reality of what it's going to take and what is going to be required of me. And then asking myself, is that what you're willing to do? Is that what you're willing to sacrifice? Because if in fact you're ready to launch into that spacing and this is the time that you're ready to do that, then this is what is required of you. That would be how I know I have to position myself, have to have that conversation with myself at 22 if I were to engage on a pathway of my heart's desire at that time. But it will require me being able to almost give exact orders once I, as a soldier-like minded person, said that, yes, sir, I'm willing to go forth.
Wow. Okay. But it's interesting because, just from as far as I know you, and just listen to that, you are a brother that operates off of like strict discipline and order. So I can understand what you're saying, where having to give like the orders, receiving, process it, and cut straight to the mission. That's dope. Let me ask you this question. With your life coach and your optimum perspective, right? what are some things that you, Curtis Ross, the life coach, that you would like um, men watching this video, no matter what age, that you would like them to take away from what you have to offer? What are some things that you would like to make sure is out there in the universe?
So for me, my desire is for the brothers, the men, the young brothers, the young men to ultimately want life, life itself, not other people, not other things, not other institutions, but to want life itself to give them the best that it has to offer. Recognizing that in order to do that, I've got to give life the best that I have to offer. So for the brother that's listening to this, you don't get to demand of life what it is you're not willing to provide or deliver to your life. Because I live by the understanding that we create the very existence of our universe. Because think about it, good brother. If your perspective doesn't exist within the universe that you reside in, then that universe is non-existent.
True.
Because the universe of your senses, your eyes, your ears, if that goes away, then what existence really matters if you can't authentically exist and identify in that environment? So you are truly the captain in your life. Yeah. And so when you recognize that, then you recognize that I have the capacity, or at least I should have the capacity, to steer the ship in the direction that I want. I have the capacity, I have the control and the power to go where it is that I want to go. And regardless of the color of my skin, regardless of what has transpired in the past, I will use that as fuel, that historical data, those relationships, the ancestors, I will use it all as fuel to continue to condition and recondition my thinking, recognizing that, again, I am truly the master of my fate. I am truly the captain of my soul. So without monopolizing that answer, simply put, for the brother that's listening, you have more power than you could ever imagine. And so you could change tomorrow simply by changing what you do today.
Yo, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh man, that's awesome. Now this is what I want you to do, Curtis. For those that are watching this, how can people, I know we're ticking down. I want people to be able to get in contact with you for whatever, everybody has their personal needs and stuff like that. What are all the different ways they can contact you, whether Instagram, Facebook, a website, an email, or whatever? What's your contact info?
Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. So I worked to keep it simple. If you can remember my name, Curtis Ross, then you can always visit me on my website at curtisross.com. So definitely I have an active website. I take consultations. Again, there are no charge, and look forward to just being able to connect with you and see if this is a good fit. I don't presume that I'm ready to take on any and everyone. And so that's why I do the consultation to see whether or not this is a journey, because that's the way I look at it, that we are both ready to take together. And also just from a social media perspective, Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitter, you can find me and follow and connect with me at Curtis Ross 21. Again, that's at Curtis Ross 21. And so again, across those platforms, and we can connect, and you can see that pretty much I live the life on social media that I'm speaking about with Brother Samori today, the gym time and all that stuff. It's just, it's right there.
Yep.
And I do have a group, 100 Men Strong. So for any of the brothers out there, Black men particularly, a group 100 Men Strong, been working on that platform. And so that's on Facebook as well. So we'll love to, connect there. So you can always find us 100 Men Strong. But again, I appreciate this opportunity, Samari. Again, at Curtis Ross 21 social media. CurtisRoss.com, CurtisRoss is the website. And we have our 100 Men Strong social media group there on Facebook.
Yes, yeah. Make sure y'all check that out. He's always dropping some gems on there, and hitting you with like the basic things that sometimes we get so busy in life. Many of us are fathers, husbands, just entrepreneurs, and so we get so caught up in the rigmarole of life that sometimes we can neglect the most basic things. But those basic things are the things that we need to really maintain us. And so, he'll constantly be dropping jewels. Like, look, did you drink your water today? Did you get you some fruits and vegetables today? Did you exercise today? Did you take time out to meditate? Hitting you with all these different jewels, So please make sure you check out 100 Men Strong on Facebook. This is a very good brother. We're going to have a lot more dialogue about what Curtis does in everything. We'll have him back on here as a regular. So with that said, Curtis, thank you so much for joining Swarthy and Swank. Great to have you on the platform. We'll be cross promoting and everything. Oh wait, don't you have like a book or a publication that you may be working on or coming out with shortly? Or?
Yeah, I got a couple. I won't spill the beans on their titles just yet. However, I'm excited about it, and you'll be one of the first people that knows about it when I actually get it in print, and we can start really dialogue about it.
All right, excellent. I want to make sure you got it out. But okay, yeah, just let me know whenever you're ready to pull the trigger. I'm there. So, with that said, everybody be blessed, be healthy, be safe, love your friends and family, try and stay positive. And with that, we're out of here. Peace.